While everybody has been focusing on the opportunities that Dubai has been presenting, I've been focusing on something a little bit different over the last 12 months. I've been backing forward to Abu Dhabi, focusing on what's the next big opportunity, Hudaria Island. Hudaria Island is now offering villas and mansions at a very competitive price per square foot. I am dealing with shrewd investors and even some billionaires who are now noticing the shift in investment opportunities to Abu Dhabi. I've been working with Modon developer and also dealing with clients on multiple levels up in Abu Dhabi and speaking about investing in Nawayef Hills and also Al Naseem community on Hudaria Island. So in this video, I will take you through everything that you need to know about Abu Dhabi, Hudaria Island, and the investment opportunity that it presents. So before we get into looking at the master plan of Hudaria Island, you're probably wondering, Abu Dhabi, Hudaria Island, why would I leave Dubai? Why would I choose Abu Dhabi over Dubai? And that's what I'm here to explain today and give you an insight into real estate in Abu Dhabi and lifestyle in Abu Dhabi. You've got plenty of pros, but you've also got some cons to Abu Dhabi, as well as, you know, what you can find in Dubai, you won't find in Abu Dhabi and vice versa. So let's take a look at the master plan and what is available there right now on offer. Let's break it down in terms of the communities that are actually on the island, what is to come and what we're expected. So right now we have got Nawayef Hills, we've got both East Hill and we've got West Hill. On these hills we have two man-made islands which have taken 2 years to build by the master developer. And the master developer is Modon, which are a government-backed developer, backed by the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is valued at over $1 trillion. They're one of the most valuable sovereign wealth funds in the world. So you can imagine there will be no penny spared when it comes to this island. That's why they're going above and beyond creating this lifestyle and creating the hills. It's the level of privacy that it offers. I mean, you've got 15 meters above sea level, you've got 25 meters above sea level, 35, 45, and so on, right up to, like I said, 60 meters above sea level and 50 meters above sea level. Each time you raise the levels of the villas in terms of height, you will overlook the villa below you and have that level of privacy so nobody can see into each other's back garden, and you'll just have unparalleled views of the sea. Or if you're on this side of the island, you can see obviously the skyline and Abu Dhabi's ADGM, which is the financial district. You've got the homes, you've got the heights, and then at the top and the peaks of the hills, you've got the mansions, and you know, they're quite something special. But we'll get on to those shortly after in the video. We'll explain the different types of villas that you can get. In the middle, you've got Nawayef Village, completely sold out. This was apartments and townhouses and probably will be the hub and the lifestyle aspect of the whole island, where you'll probably get most of the activity. Here you've got Al Naseem community. So Al Naseem community is probably one of the biggest communities on Hudaria Island. This is flat land, so it's not raised in height at all, but the value for money that you're getting here compared to anywhere else is extraordinary. You're getting extremely large plots, extremely large built-up area at a competitive price. And let's just speak about the pricing in terms of why people are escaping Dubai to come to Abu Dhabi, and why people who are moving from like Europe or Australia or the US or anywhere internationally, it's competitive. The price per square foot is ridiculous. For anything prime, beachfront, full sea views with the level of amenities and facilities that you're getting on the island compared to, for example, Palm Jumeirah or Palm Jebel Ali, it is entirely unmatched. You just can't get it. It's a 40-60 payment plan, 10% booking, 30% during construction, and then 60% on handover, which is just unheard of compared to what you would get in Dubai. It's normally an aggressive 80-20. Coming back to the master plan, as you can see up here, is where most of the commercial activity is happening. So you've got Bab Al Najoom Hotel, which is operating there now. You've got Circuit X, you've got 321 Sports Complex with FIFA standard football pitches, you've got rugby pitches, Surf Abu Dhabi, which is the largest artificial surfing machine in the world. So if you come to the island, you can understand the activity and what's actually happening there now. Here we've got Bashir Villas, again, completely sold out. These are extremely private, large villas, also come with a private boating dock. So you've got Wadeem here, which is on the right-hand side of the island. This is being sold as plots and the opportunity to get in here and buy a plot and build your own villa. And then, as you can see, we've got plenty of other land which is yet to be announced on both the right hand side and the left hand side, east and west of Hudaria Island. So we're on Google Maps now, and I want to show you the location of Hudaria Island. You can see it here outlined. You know, it's 51 million square meters and 16 kilometers of new beachfront being added to the city. And by the way, this is a natural island. Being a natural island comes with its own pros. Fresher water flow, fresher corals, and fresher beaches. Natural aspect is what will appreciate more in value compared to man-made islands. We've got one bridge connecting to the mainland of Abu Dhabi right now, connecting Hudaria Island, with more probably to be announced. We're about 15 to 20 minutes drive from ADGM, which is here. ADGM is Abu Dhabi's financial district. So what do we know about Abu Dhabi? You've got Sadia Island, again, which is probably the most luxury aspect and part of Abu Dhabi right now. We've got Mamsha Sadia. This is where you've got all your really nice hotels. And then you've got Yaz Island. Again, probably the most known because that's where you've got all your theme parks, Ferrari World. You've got the F1 that happens there. You've got Ramhan Island and you've got Jubail Island, which are also being announced as well. But as you can see, everything that's freehold is on this side of Abu Dhabi, whereas Hudaria Island offers something different. It's the only freehold community which is on this side of Abu Dhabi. So I think that's gonna hold value in itself. Okay, so let's take a deeper dive into what's available on the island and the types of villas, particularly on Nawayef Hills, which is both east and west. So we've got Nawayef homes, which you can see highlighted here in red. Again, these are the smallest type villas that you can get, 4 and 5 bedrooms, which are 15, 25, 35 meters above sea level. And they were initially the first ones really to sell out. They were starting at a price of around just under 10 million dirhams for the cheapest kind of ones, and then 10 up to like 11, 12 millions, depending on the location that you are on the hill and the view that you have. For example, these particular villas here mightn't have the best view, but anything on this side will have full sea view. And again, when you come on this side of the island, you'll have full sea view, but also you'll have full city view over ADGM and Abu Dhabi skyline. If you're living in this villa, you will not be able to see the people who are spending time with their family, have their children out playing in the swimming pool. It's complete privacy. And it also shows you the level of elevation. And again, we have the mansions at the top, which are an extraordinary piece of real estate, which we will again come on to. Okay, so let's take a look at the styles, the architectural types of the homes. And we've got 6 different types and layouts. We've got modern, contemporary, Mediterranean style villas, all different facades. So this gives you an idea. This is type 1 of 6 of the homes. We've got a really nice facade with a travertine finish on the bottom. It's really modern, contemporary style design. So let's take a look at type 2, which is available. Again, really nice facade. We've got kind of the same similar style architecture as the previous one, but we've got a different color scheme going on. Like I said, no 2 villas are the same. Everything is different. Your next door neighbor will be different. As you can see here, it's dotted in different parts around the community, which makes it a lot more pleasing on the eye. So type 2, this is a look at the back of the villa. Now this is spectacular. We've got a cantilevered first level. As you can see here, we've got a couple of meters from the downstairs floor area with floor to ceiling windows with a nice first floor terrace. I mean, this is something that I've not really seen in both Dubai or Abu Dhabi yet, and when they bring this to life, it's gonna look spectacular. So taking a look inside of one of the villas here now, as we can see, this is type 2. We can see the lovely marble finishes throughout in the kitchen. Again, floor to ceiling windows, and really allowing the natural flow and natural light into the open plan area, which is again something that Europeans and international investors, that's what they look for. They look for open plan spaces, and that's what Mudon are offering in their floor plans. So type 3, and I might be biased here, but this is my favorite architectural style, the Mediterranean style. I just love that Spanish type feeling of a home. This is what I would love to live in, to be honest. I would prefer bigger windows like what were in the other villas that I just showed you, but this style is really popular. A lot of Europeans tend to go for this style villa, one of my favorites. This is a look at it from the back of the home. It's just that classical sort of style villa. It just gets that really homely feeling, and that's what I would be looking for if I was buying a villa. So moving on to type 4 of 6 of the homes. Again, more or less the same style as 1 and 2, just different color schemes. This time it doesn't have the facade right over the front of the windows. There's a break in the outside of the villa, which looks really, really nice on a different color scheme. So let's take a look at type 5. Now this is probably a hate it or love it sort of style and layout, but you can see you've got kind of the Mediterranean cobblestone effect at the bottom. Then up on the first floor, you've got the facade surrounded by the whitewashed brick effect. Like I said, it is a hate it or love it, but again, it offers a different feel and a different perspective for any particular buyer that would like to go for that style. Okay, and then the final one is type 6. Again, very similar to type 5, but we just have a different color scheme in the cobblestone effect on the facade. So now we'll move on to the heights on Nawayef Hills, which are a bigger style villa than the homes, elevated that little bit more than the homes. We've got 5, 6, and 7 bedroom villas. You can see them here. We've got them highlighted in green, as you can see, all around here. Now these are the highest on the island before obviously getting yourself into the mansions, which are located on the top of the island, which we'll get into later in the video. The heights are definitely one of the best floor plans I've seen for value and price per square foot in all of the UAE, which we'll move on to now. This is type 1, it gives you an example. This is extraordinary. It's something I've never seen before. So here's the back of the villa. Now these villas are starting from anywhere around 20,000 square foot in built up area and roughly on the same plot size. We've got spiral stairs out the back taking you from ground to first floor level. We've even got basements in these villas, multiple car spaces, and we've got the infinity pool which overlooks the sea or the city or whichever way your villa is positioned. When these villas finally hand over and people begin to live on this island, I can see prices skyrocketing. So these aren't no ordinary villas. The developer has thought of everything. They come with spa, they come with a cinema, they come with multiple car garages, up to 10 cars, indoor swimming pools, outdoor swimming pools. Again, they even come with a full-size gym, something that I've never seen before. That is every sort of facility, every sort of amenity is in this home for you not to have to leave the villa. So on the heights, we have 8 different styles, architectural types, layouts, and this is one of my favorites. Like I've said, talking 20,000 square foot plus, which gives you an understanding of the sheer size of these villas. So can you imagine just sitting in your living area with your family with unparalleled sea views over your swimming pool? It's just fantastic. It's just something I've never seen. So let's jump on to this style. Now, when people say, what is the idea of it being the Beverly Hills of Abu Dhabi, the Los Angeles inspired? I really love the curved arch effect that they've got going on here. The slated roof, which Europeans would be very, very used to. You don't see that at all. It offers that different style and different pick for people to feel at home. So taking a look at the back of the villa here, again, look at the arch effect that we've got going on. It's really something spectacular. Let's speak about Modon and actually what they've done in La Zagaleta in Marbella. And when I think of La Zagaleta and Spain and Spanish properties, again, this is what I think of, because this is the sort of villa that you would see. And for them to now introduce that into Abu Dhabi offers those European investors and end users that style. I don't know what it is about the whitewash villas that I love so much, but when you tie the whitewash villas to the black framed windows, it's the black frame ones that have the the crosshairs throughout them. I don't know exactly what they're called or what sort of door or window they're called, but you see that a lot in Spanish properties, and for them to introduce that here, I think it's going to be one of the most in-demand properties when they finally hand over on Hudaria Island. So now, when you think of the pinnacle of real estate, imagine whatever city you're from, think of the best neighborhood, the most affluent neighborhood, the most expensive piece of real estate in that city. Picture it on Hudaria Island, picture it at the peak of the Los Angeles inspired hills, and that's when you get Nawayef mansions. Highlighted here in blue, obviously they are limited in the number of villas that there are. If you are someone of notoriety, most of the wealthy people in the Middle East have purchased these villas, starting at around 27,000 square foot built up area, ranging up to 40,000 square foot built up area on plots starting at 20,000 square foot. This gives you an idea of the sheer size of these villas. And if you're a billionaire, this is the place you want to be. So coming on and taking a look at the back of one of these mansions located at the peak of the hill. I think this is probably the most iconic photo that Modon have released in terms of their, marketing pack. Curved style villa that you see right at the peak of the hill. You've got a big wraparound infinity swimming pool. You've got sunken seating areas. It's just spectacular. They do not want anything looking the same. There's 5 different styles and 5 different layouts of the mansions. This is a more zoomed out photo of the mansion on the top of the hill. I believe maybe all the hedge fund managers and bankers that are being lured to Abu Dhabi, this is probably the place they're gonna call home. You've got gyms, saunas, spas, steam room, bar. You've got multiple car garage. You've got everything you need in this villa overlooking the entire Gulf. So here's a look inside the mansions, and as you can see, we've got the spa, we've got the cold plunge, we've got the saunas, we've got the jacuzzis. Here on the left, we've got the gym. So like I said, fully equipped for you to live a life within your home without having to step outside. And when I said a 10-car garage, I actually meant it. So take a look at the basement in this villa. Spectacular. If you're a car lover or if you're a car collector, this is the perfect place to store your cars. Okay, so that takes us on now to the pricing aspect. So what do we know so far about Hudaria Island? So in terms of the price per square foot on the plot, you're roughly around 1,600 dirhams per square foot on the plot. That's insane in terms of getting prime beachfront, waterfront properties with this level of facilities and amenities on your doorstep. Like I said, Modon are trying to create a city within a city aspect. So for what they offer, 1,600 dirhams per square foot on the plot, and on the built up area, you're talking around let's say 2,000. It's slightly below 2,000 dirhams a square foot. Now, if you compare that to anywhere else in the world, whether it be London, whether it be Singapore, whether it be New York, or any other prime location, it's miles behind. It's absolutely miles behind. Even compared to Dubai obviously price per square foot is a lot higher. So for example, if we're talking about Palm Jumeirah is trading at anything up to 23,000 dirhams a square foot. Like I said, Abu Dhabi is getting to the point of where Palm Jumeirah already is, and you can see these transactions. The price per square foot here starts at 11,000 and goes all the way up to 23,000 dirhams a square foot. When you compare it to what I just showed you a minute ago, the price per square foot in terms of the plot and the built up area, Abu Dhabi still has a long way to go. But also the UAE still has a long way to go compared to New York, London, Singapore, Monaco, and all the other top destinations around the world. So enough about comparing the property prices and comparisons to Dubai. Let's talk about the comparisons within Abu Dhabi City. Of course we do have to compare it to Dubai because they're the only other man-made islands and the like-for-like comparisons. But if we compare it to what's in the city, we've got Hida Al Sadia, which is the direct comparable in terms of villas that are being launched. Obviously, again, it's on this side of the city, whereas Hudaria is on the further side of the city. The average price per square foot here is 3,400 dirhams per square foot. And like I said, if you look at Hudaria, you're at 2,000 dirhams per square foot. So what is the difference between Hida Al Sadia and Hudaria Island? Of course, Hida Al Sadia has been around a long time, but you've got no facilities, you've got no amenities. Most people who are looking for these master plan projects, they want the bike track, they want the new velodrome that's being built, the largest velodrome in Abu Dhabi or in the world, an AC velodrome. They want the FIFA football pitches, they want the golf courses, they want the skate parks, they want the hotels, they want everything that is being put on Hudaria, because that's essentially what's going to drive the prices up. Now, when we look at Hida Al Sadia, I think we've got one gym and one coffee shop. So it's pretty much dead. There's not much happening there. We know exactly that with the level of facilities and amenities, it is going to surpass 3,400 dirhams per square foot. It's physically impossible for it not to, considering the level of lifestyle and aspect that it's going to offer. So taking all that into consideration and the opportunity and the niche that these shrewd investors, multimillionaires and billionaires have noticed within the last 6 to 12 months, there's definitely a lot of room for growth within Abu Dhabi. And the best thing about it is the payment plan. So the payment plan is 40/60. Now, like I said in the video, anything to do with a government developer like Emaar or Maras or anybody in Dubai, you're talking 80/20, which is very aggressive and doesn't really give the investor or end user much incentive. Whereas Mudan have thought of these people here. So 10% required on booking. So, like I said, the start price here is 10 million AED, or roughly $2.7 million. In terms of the entry prices, 10%, you're talking your 1 million down, 1 million dirhams, plus your 2% government fee. Your DLD fee in Dubai is normally 4%, however in Abu Dhabi it's 2%. So you're roughly 1.2 million dirhams down for a booking of a villa. 30% during construction, so 30% over a 3-year period. So that's roughly 10% per year. So again, very, very lenient payment plan. And then it comes to handover, you'll have the 60% payment. Whether you're the end user, you're the investor, there's so many different things you can do with this. Of course, you can leverage it and take a mortgage with the bank, flip it prior to paying the 60% to a new investor or new family, depending on where the master plan is at that given point. We'll probably see a lot more end users wanting to live there because there's so much more happening on the island. And then again, if you have the capital or you have the cash to just pay the 60%, completely pay it off, and then you own the 10 million dirham villa, which is being paid off over the course of 3 years. So let's speak about ready versus off plan. Now, coming from Europe and me coming from Dublin, Ireland, buying off plan and the whole aspect around investing early, watching the communities grow, and as Europeans, we're not very familiar with this sort of investing, but I believe with the Asian and Arab mentality, it's quite big, and it opened my eyes when I came to Dubai to see the opportunity that it presents. And the only way for me to break it down would be, okay, let's say we've got the pie chart, and the pie chart is broken down into 6 different stages, right? And let's say Hudaria is at stage 1. And stage 1 is essentially just the idea. The idea of the master plan, the idea of the developer, the idea of what's to come, the designs, the renders, the complete vision of the project. People buy into this, and especially with Modon being a government-backed developer, there's not a lot of risk when it comes to the government developers. I always try to advise my clients to follow the government money. If you follow the government money, you're never going to be too far wrong. Then after that, stage 2 comes around, you'll have, they'll launch one community and you'll have everybody buy into that community. It will be a sellout. And then after that community then hands over, let's say in 3 or 4 years time. So now you've got a community, you've got the park, you've got, the facilities, the amenities, you've got everything up and running. Then the developer during that time will have launched phase 3 of that project. And that will be another community. What I should have said was at each stage, there will be a 10% increase in prices. So that means the earlier you invest in an off-plan project, the more fruitful it will be. And as the master plan starts to hand over and as new communities start to develop and more families start to come in, that's when people say, I want to live there. I want that to be my family home. And then comes the next phase, which will be phase 4, and will be, the next part of Hudaria Island. So you could probably picture it being like Nawayef, which is here, East and West Hill, and you've got Al Naseem community. And as the project goes, it's going to be 10%, 10%, 10% increase in prices. And again, it'll just continue to go all the way around. 10% increase the whole way. And like I said, once you've got hospitals handing over, you've got a mall, you've got a golf course, you've got schools, football pitches, you've got fully operating beach, you've got hotels, that's when it becomes a city within a city. And the person who buys here at the end, when it's fully complete, will be the person that, I wouldn't say it was afraid to take the risk. Maybe they just came into the market at that given point. But this is the person that says, wow, this is one of the best master plans or the best locations I've ever seen. This is where I want to live with my family. But the visionary who's seen it here at point one and seen that this is going to be one of the best places to live in the world and put his money here, he will see the increases all the way throughout the entire master plan. And that's the difference between off plan and ready, and seeing the vision and buy into something that's gonna come to life. So people often worry about the liquidity of the market in Abu Dhabi compared to Dubai. Now, of course, Dubai is a more liquid market and people are driven there more so as the tourist hotspot. When they come to Dubai, they see that yes, it's an amazing place to live and they choose to invest there, but they actually miss the part of, you know, what Abu Dhabi has to offer. But in terms of the liquidity and the issue around reselling, you know, that's not an issue. The population is growing just as fast as Dubai. The economy is growing just as fast as Dubai, and these people need a place to live. You know, with the population growing and not so much freehold properties in Abu Dhabi. Like I said, we've got Hudaria Island here, we've got where are we? We've got Reem Island here, we've got Sadia and Yaz. Mainly these three locations, Yaz, Sadia and Al Reem, that's where people are choosing to live. However, Hudaria is the vision, like I said in the previous part of this video. These locations are the only locations in Abu Dhabi that are actually freehold. Well, of course, we've got more Jubail, Ramhan, Fahd, but again, there's not much life in these islands as of now. It's more so just the vision of what's to come. Also deal with the amount of number of businesses that are being located in ADGM, which is Abu Dhabi's financial district. We've had over 11,000 new businesses registered in ADGM over the last year. And whether you're an end user or an investor in Hudaria Island, let's look at the investment opportunity of it. If you're investing and taking part of the payment plan and taking advantage of the payment plan and choose to maybe rent it out on handover, we can expect anywhere between 7 and 8% yield on these villas when they hand over, because these companies moving here and the skilled workforce that they bring, they need a place to live. They need a place for their family. And Hudaria is going to be that choice within the next 3 to 4 years. So we all move to the Middle East for the same reason. We all move here for a better life, and we move here for the tax advantages. We've got zero income tax and zero capital gains tax. So it makes investing in property that much more exciting, because we've got a lot more opportunity to, you know, grow our capital through the off-plan structure. And we've got a lot more faith in the governments here, because we know that when we're investing into a city, regardless of paying tax, the government are still reinvesting into the city to make the infrastructure better, to make the hospitals better, to make the schools better. Again, just make, you know, the overall way of life better for expats moving to the city. That's why we are all here. The tax advantages are one of the best things that the UAE provides. You can apply for the golden visa, which is a 10-year visa. And how that works would be, if you choose to purchase a property worth 2 million dirhams or more, you will be eligible to a 10-year golden visa, which allows you to come in and out of the city and also take advantage of the regulatory tax that it offers. Most people just invest here to take part in what the government are offering. And like we touched on in this video, the starting price on Hudaria Island to get involved and buy one of these spectacular villas is around 10 million dirhams. So this would already put you in the realm and being able to qualify to get a golden visa and take part in what the city and what the government are offering. So thanks for your time today on watching this video. And if you're keen on investing in Hudaria Island or in Abu Dhabi in general, or if you want to just leave your opinion on the development below in the comments, you can do so. And if you're interested in finding out more information and taking a deeper look into this project, book a call with me on the calendar link below.